rocking my Khalifa Rebels. This is your boy Swag, coming to you guys to share some love and a little bit of knowledge. What's going on with the Khalifa Rebels though? We here chilling. As you guys can see, this is the new channel that we open up. And we're gonna be speaking about a lot of situations that had to do with MS-13. Before people start criticizing and saying, oh, you're gonna be glorifying your gang, your ex-gang, you're gonna be glorifying what they do. That's not the case. Most of these cases that I'm gonna be speaking about are indictments that already took place. People's already been convicted of. And they're now either serving their time or they're out in the streets. The point and reason of this case factors and why I'm talking about is to bring to light sometimes the situations that take place that individuals have sometimes their own decision making get them to a situation where they're now facing with a life sentence. And also basically to let them know some people just straight up game bangers. They just like to game bang things and do whatever they like to do. So with that being said, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, don't forget to hit that thumbs up for your boy, and leave a comment. We'll get back at you as soon as I can. You know, this comment section is to start the conversation going, man. Before we get into, I apologize for the loud noise. They are doing some type of construction downstairs in the other unit. But with that being said, today we're going to be talking about one of the main figures that got caught up in an indictment in 2008 that got hit for 20 strictly. Angel Guevara, aka Peloncito. He was one of my older homeboys, right? He was out there in the age, he was on his early 30s. So I've been knowing him for a long time. Well, aside from that, I used to also kick it with sometimes different people. And on one of those occasions, I met this girl. She was around 17, going on 18. Her name was Veronica Hernandez, aka La Grumpy. She used to kick it with the homies from South San Francisco, right? Cool homegirl, firme, cute body, cute face. Not to my liking, I saw her as a sister because I was already doing my thing with somebody else and I didn't want to start creating drama in the neighborhood. So one time she came to the hood, I introduced them to my homeboy Peloncito. He started taking a liking to her. They start talking, they start getting to know each other. They became acquaintances and whatnot with that. The reason why this person is a factor in the case because she as well got a couple cases with him when the indictment took place that got brought to light. See, La Grumpy was a little short girl. She wasn't that big. She was probably like 4'11". Top, if anything, she was 5 foot tall. If that, right? But let me tell you, she was aggressive, man. She was aggressive. She was with the business. She didn't play around. And she used to have a hatred for Norteños. I wouldn't be able to pinpoint my finger. I never asked her why, but she had a hatred for these dudes, right? So they start going out. Her and Peloncito start going out, despite the differentially on the age factor, which we brought to his attention, and he waited until she turned 18 to deal with her on a different level, you know what I mean? But she used to kick with the homies. She always used to come around with the homies. So on December 26, 2007, she had took a ride with the homie Peloncito. They decided to go up to the Persia district, come down all the way down to the district. In 24 Shawel, they encountered a male individual they thought was a Norteño. Whether the dude was or it was not, it was never shown in court. It was never said in court. I think a lot of factors for that case got hidden away. But he was in the area where a lot of Norteños was doing, and it was pretty late at that time. So the homeboy got out the car and banged on him. The dude, his response was, I guess, Norte or whatnot. So the homeboy Peloncito got out the car and stabbed him. He cut his face. The cut was about 4 inches long. deep into his face. That was the first incident, and I'll say that's the first incident because her and him were involved in 3 incidents that night. Two that they fought. The third incident didn't make it to the paperwork, but she did got charged with the third incident while she was fighting her case. So mind you, at that time it was 29 individuals that got snatched up in the indictment, and there were dudes that been from the hood longer than she had been, cause she was in front of 20th Street. At that time, 20th Street didn't take no female, but she was kicking her with the homies. But there was dudes from 20th Street that have been there longer than her. They started snitching and they started telling when the indictment came down. But her being a female, she hold down the water. She kept it real. She kept it solid. She took her time and went on about it, right? So when the situation took place, she was in a homeboy stabbing. He jumps in the seat, and before he leaves, he's yell out a mess. That gives that factor to the victim to basically say, "Oh, I know who it is." So when the interview the victim, when the police got there, interview him, he said that, "Oh, do yell out a mess" right before he's left. The male assailant basically yell out a mess before he left. He told the police he could pick him out of a lineup. They did show him a picture lineup. He did pick out the homeboy out of the lineup. But at that first incident, the homegirl never got off. The second incident was going up Mission and Silver Avenue, basically, right? Going up there. The same day, 30 minutes after they had hit the first whoop, they went up there, Mission and Silver Avenue. They encounter a female and a male dude in a corner of them. They gambling, I guess they asked them where they were from. The answer was north, they're back to them. So they both got out. The homegirl went to the female, started booking her. And the homeboy went to the dude, started booking him. He got hit in the neck and in the rib cage a couple times. And the female got hit in the arm, supposedly in the neck, and somewhere around the rib cage. The second interview, when they got off, they started booking these dudes. Right before they left, both of them yell out MS, right? So basically let them people know, but letting everybody know this is the hood. Like, this is what we represent, this is what we about. They're crazy. I both got on a car, and you can see when the video camera shows their kiss and that they hop on the ride and then take off. The third incident, which it doesn't present on his paper, but it shows on her, happened in Persia, supposedly, right? And for this case, we're gonna use allegedly, for the simple fact that it was never on the paperwork of him. I saw hers when we were together in the county and in juvenile, but I can't go on and say she got convicted, but allegedly, these two guys ran across two norteños over there, a female and a dude over there by the liquor store. And this where the confusion came in, because the police didn't know if it was the one by Persia or the incident that happened on Silver Avenue. But they had a video, and I believe it was the one for Silver Avenue. When they both got off, they started stabbing the female and the dude. They stopped. They actually were close to a liquor store or something like that. They saw the camera. These two individuals, Angel Guevara and Veronica, started kissing each other. Like, they were hyped up on what they had done. They jumped in the car and drove off. The third incident had to do with they pulled up on a liquor store. They stabbed one dude. They both stabbed them. Supposedly, allegedly, they both stabbed them, jumped in the car and left. Well, they never got convicted, but they did. The female picked Angel up out of the lineup and said, yes, he has something in his face. Angel had a SF on his face and a little bit teardrop. She couldn't really recognize him really good, but she said, I know he has something on his left side of his face, like a burn mark or a teardrop or something like that. So he basically told him that. After the incident took place, the female and the male were able to point out the first victim, stabbing Victor in shower. At the moment, he was able to pick up Angel out of a lineup and say, yeah, that was him. I recognized him because he had a distinguished tattoo on his face. And that was something that all three victims said it. And some eyewitnesses said it, that they recognized the male because of the tattoo that he had, basically, you know. So the second incident that happened in a liquor store, because I got it backward. Second incident happened in a liquor store where they stabbed the individual. They both stabbed the individual in a liquor store. They both got out the car, and that incident happened in Persia. And they started whacking him because he banged on him, on them. As they were driving slowly to a Persia and a Mission, dude banged on them. So they both got out the car and started whacking him. And he didn't pick nobody out of a lineup. I guess he was a real Norteños. He chose not to pick nobody out of the line. But the third incident that happened on Silver Avenue in Mission, the female plus four witnesses that were there, they were able to identify somebody Latino in the 30s, little stocky dude with something on his face, like a tattoo, something else. The female was not able to point out the female. She just said it was a female with curly hair, short. But they were both of the victims that suffered in the incident in Mission and Silver Avenue. At first, the dude said, "Oh, I cannot recognize him if they had in front of me if I see them again." But 3 days later, the victim was able to point. They show him a lineup. After he got took care of his injury, they show him a lineup. He was able to pick out Angel out of the line and say, "Yeah, that was him. I recognize it." The female, however, she had a hard time picking him up. She basically at first said, "No, I don't recognize it," but I do remember her being a little stocky with something on his face, like on his face or something like that. So she didn't actually pick them out of the lineup, nor the homegirl, but they did got picked out of the lineup first by the two of the male victims. After this incident happened, they both went home. Grumpy and Peloncito, they both went home. They got whatever they do. December 30, a warrant was issued for his house. A search warrant was issued for his house, for his person, and his car. When they raided his house, the SFPD raided his house, they took a DNA sample from Angel, and they also found a stain, like a blood-stained knife. They had a little blood in it, some clothing, some electrical devices, and some of those electrical devices had like gang memorabilia that resembles the Sureño gang base ACMS Mara Salvatrucha. So they had some type of drawing and stuff. They found some letters that were aimed towards Veronica Hernandez. They found some drawings and stuff that said Mara Salvatrucha. They found some hats and some clothing. They also had a Mara Salvatrucha or a mess, which led them to believe that he was a participant, active participant of the 20th Street gang. I mean, some of them knew him. The sergeant and some of the policemen that went to his house knew him. He was a documented gang member, so they already had that going on. When the indictment hit, those three cases came up to him. He was found guilty of those two cases. But Veronica fought her case separate from him due to her age. She wasn't, I believe she was barely 18 when the indictment came down. So usually sometimes the Fed doesn't charge her because she was just a crime. But the states did charge her. She ended up getting found guilty for those and another charge, and was sentenced, if I'm not mistaken, was 15 to 20 years. Here's the good thing about her. When she first got to juvenile home and she was in the county as well, she used to be fighting all the time. She used to be chunking with Norteñas. She used to be gang banging out the game. She used to be angry at them. Along the line, once she got to the joint, she started seeing the stuff and she started changing her mind. And this is what I want to bring up. She was able to get her psychology degree to become like a psych, basically. And she was also able to get her PhD. And she was also able to get some type of degree on finances and business. So she put her time to well use when she got to prison. She was like, I already made the mistakes. I already fell in love with the gangsters that left me half-ass done. And his homeboy stole on us. So I'm gonna have to make the best out of the worst situation, which she did. She took advantage of the research females have in prison. And of course, you know, she got in trouble from the beginning because she was still young, she was still dumb. In the very beginning, she got in trouble once she got the child chilling. Then when FOSA opened up, she enrolled in college courses classes, which led her to get those degrees and now become a better person. She's now she's now outside in the streets. She reached out to me one time, basically letting me know she was out on the streets. She was doing good. She was doing well, which is something that I'm really proud of because she basically made her situation worse to a better and found some type of relief and trying to do something with her life, which is a plus. Unfortunately for Angel Guevara, he's now no longer active. He decided to check in and start living the life, which I don't knock him for it. That's still my homeboy. I got love for him. I still talk to him there. But right before all these incidents happening, he was up there in the penitentiary system. He chose to keep gambling and keep doing what he do to survive. Until the situation with Coco, he was involved with the situation with Coco transpired, and then the situation came and bit him in the ass. The little homies from 20th Street disciplining him and trying to remove him from Alameda County when he came down to fight his case. They didn't took that much time off his case, but he was trying to fight his case. And then when he got up there to the joint again, while he was in one of the personal transfers to get back to Louisburg, he got hit. He got stabbed. That opened his eyes to see that the barrio, the one swore to back him up after the incident with Coco, the one swore that we're gonna have his back, that he didn't have to worry about, did the whole opposite. They turned around and they hit him. They hit him a couple times. They didn't do a lot, or he didn't get airlift or nothing, but they put holes on him. Somebody that have been living his life since he was a kid. He went, when he first got deported the first time to El Salvador, he went over there to El Salvador and created a whole new 20th Street clique named Cangrejeras. He was the founder of that clique. He did a lot for the hood. And the thanks he got was when he made a mistake or once the hood felt like they wasn't going to risk then getting hit because of the incident between him and Coco, they decided to turn around and hit him. So that's what I've been trying to tell you guys. You can serve your master, which can be your hood. You can serve them all they want. You can do as much damage as you want, as much pegada as you want, as much dope selling as you want. But at the end of the day, if they choose that they don't want it no more, this would transpire. He been gang banging since he was 12, 13 years old. He's now in his early 40s. So he's been gang banging for over 30 years. He was one of the leaders of 20th Street clique. He went to El Salvador and founded a clique over there. Then he put in a lot of work while he's in the feds. And then the last incident that he was involved with Coco and the other homeboy, this what took place. He got beat up by little dudes from his neighborhood. They should have never touched him from the beginning because that's your older homeboy. You should have some type of respect. You beat him up due to somebody telling you, hey, you guys got to get rid of him, this and this and this and that. They evaded that Piper, got rid of him. They beat him up. He didn't roll it up. Then he went to the joint after getting beat up by his own people. And on top of that, he gets stabbed while he was on his way back to prison. After 30 years of gang banging, what had the neighborhood given him? Nothing but a bunch of holes on his body. And you guys think that's the way it's supposed to be going? He caught a life sentence behind his hood because he loved the neighborhood. He loved his hood. He loved that mess. He was a leader. He was one of the founders from the cliques. But when Cheryl came to push and shade the fan, nobody backed him up. All the homeboys turned against him. All the people he thought they were going to have his back, people he thought loved him and had love for him, turned against him. And that's what I've been trying to tell you guys. Gangs would do this. They will turn against you quick. If they think you're not usable no more, you're not providing situation no more, they will turn against you and trying to kill you just because of that. That's what happened to this guy. One lady made the best out of her life. She's now home with a degree. The other dude decided to keep game banging, and what we got is he's in the SNY yard now with the holes on his body, choosing to do his time because the hood left him. That's what I've been trying to tell you guys. The hood doesn't love you guys. He loved the girl, but since he was game banging, that's all he knew. He exposed her to that life to the point when she went and did 15 years for him without telling. But he went and got hit while he was game banging. This is the way that MS treat people. They lift them up, and then once they're at a place where they think they're getting way too much power, they cut out their wings and they try to kill. Just like the MS, they have the same structure. And that's why a lot of homeboys are doing what they're doing, being on their own, because MS-13 had decided to found and structure their gang, the organization to the MS liking and to the MS, similar to the MS structure. And that was not it, man. So know before you do something for your hood, the person that really loves you is your family, not your neighborhood. With that said, but don't forget to hit a like and subscribe. And let's get it, Cali Rebels.